Alrighty guys, today we're going to be installing some new grips and new handguards. I've just removed the handguards. I added Cherbys before, and I have Pro Taper pill tops. We're going to try out the Tusk handguards, and we got some ODI grips, lock-on grips. Hopefully this will hold better. I used glue before, so we're going to try them out, see if I can get the throttle fixed right and all that. Alrighty guys, talk to you in a little bit. Alrighty guys, I just got the throttle tube with the right hand grip. I've already cut this, so on most of these that are not the metal ones that have the end cap, you have to cut the tip off. I tend to follow the line on the grip. As you can see, even with the Pro Tapers, I had to cut them. It wasn't pretty. I try my best tool is actually my hacksaw. And the reason being is I can typically get a better straight cut with it. So with these type of handguards, the ODIs especially, they come with the throttle tube already installed with the clip-ons. And you've actually got different little things, little throttle cable holders that actually make the throttle work. And you replace them with whatever type of bike you have. They send you a bunch. Mine being a Kawasaki, it has a specific one, and I just switch the head out, and then I can put it in, and it kind of locks in together. For this, I had to take this apart. That's usually what you have to do, is take your throttle assembly apart, your start button, switch gear, whatever you want to call it. And I just switched the head out, fed it back into it the way it came out. It doesn't come off. You don't have to really worry about that unless something breaks. And yeah, I'm gonna get the other side installed, and then probably start working on the hand grip or the hand guards themselves. So like with the other side, I've cut this one off to allow my hand guard bolts to actually be able to feed into the throttle or the bar end. This one being a clip-on, it has a little tightening screw in there. It happens to be I believe a 3mm Allen. Now typically on these I loosen them up a little bit. It's got Loctite already on there, and you actually slide them on. I still got to loosen this one more. With this, the little bolt, I tend to put them on the very bottom so I can still access them if something happens, if my bar breaks or something plastic breaks. Now if you put this on here, just know that it will stay in place, unlike some of the other ones, like the glue. If the glue breaks down, or if it doesn't fit just right, it comes loose. If you also got the ones with the wire, those are just as good, honestly, and a lot of bikes will still require those, but I like using these clip-ons especially for bars that I can actually find them for. And after I get these installed, I'm going to start working on my bars, my actual hand guards. So talk to you in a little bit. So these are the little bar and nuts that came with the Tusk ones. I really like this little design. Typically they just come with these little threaded inserts that you have a washer on it with a sort of like a locking nut on them. I like these little rubber gaskets because that keeps you from tearing up the inside of your things, and actually I think it'll actually provide a better seal. So I'm excited to try these out. I'll go ahead, and these actually feed onto the end of the bars of the handguards that lock it into the inside of your little bar tube right there, and it allows you to mount them and lock them in place, keep them on the ends. That's why we cut this out, is because you do need to push something inside of this. And the stock bars, they actually have little threads in them. I of course have the Pro Taper, the CR highs, so I have a little chamber in there that I can put everything in. Now whatever bars you have, some are different, some have little threads on the end, especially stock OEM bars. So we'll go ahead and get these put on and let you see how they look after they're on. So just because I didn't mention it, they go like this, a little rubber piece with the serrated little locking nut right there. And this is the end of it. So you have to feed this before you do anything, and make sure you don't go too tight with everything, because once you insert it, You can tighten it a little bit to make it stay in place and kind of reposition it to how you want it, but you still also have to get the clamp on the other side in the middle of the bars to actually lock it and get it to where you want it. And then once everything is on there, position how you want it, that's when you tighten it. That way you don't have to loosen stuff up, retighten it, position it, all that. You kind of work all of them, all the steps together, get it where you want it, and then you lock it. So funnily enough, I couldn't even use a little rubber insert on my bars. I'm assuming they put that in there for the bars that have a bigger opening, 1/8 bars, 1 1/8 bars, but mine couldn't. But anyways, I've got the bar on, somewhat positioned. I've still got this. I've got this tightened up enough to be able to move it around, and this one as well. So these do have to be, they're kind of one size fits all. They're not perfect match for every bike. So you do have to bend the bars a little bit, and usually they're bent enough by just screwing it in. So we'll go ahead and try that. Try to get it closer to being done, lined up to where I want it, and tighten everything up. And that's the actual handbars themselves, the little aluminum. Actually screw it in to protect your levers and your handles. Disregard that. That's the Turbies. I had to cut that off. I'm not too worried about it. I like it shorter. And just like that, guys, I've tightened it up. This ain't going anywhere unless I hit a tree, but it's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna do the other side, get that done, line it up, make sure they're even from looking through the front, just because that annoys me when they're not. And then we'll go ahead and start getting the plastic, and I'll get back to you when we're putting the plastic on. Alrighty, guys, so I've already evened this out. I haven't quite tightened that side down, but I want to show you something as to why I say to wait or cut these hand grips before you do this. So this is actually the end of the bar. I cut this to allow the tip to be open to put this in, thread this in, right? I've also cut this just enough to where if this bends or if this was touching this, it would actually stick your throttle. And I've learned from experience, you cut it enough just to give yourself enough space in case you hit a tree or something, your throttle gets stuck open. Or if you're going down the trail, you open this up, this moves just a little bit, and then your throttle's stuck wide open. So just learn from my mistakes, cut it a little bit more. Sure, the end of the bar sticking out, but this is actually closed up, so I'm not too worried about it. Where it might allow some corrosion to get in there, but I'm not too worried about that. I replace my grips pretty much seems like every year that I ride. So there we go. I'm gonna finish tightening this up and get some of the plastics on, make sure it's all even and pretty, and I'll get back to you guys. All right, guys, we got them installed. I got both handguards on. Now, if you notice, the gray is a little different from this to this. That's my own fault. I chose these. I don't mind a color difference, but if you really matter or care about a color difference, if you have a gray KLX, a gray bike, sometimes it takes a couple tries to get the right color to match your bike. But the red ones that are on my CRF 450 RL, they're great handguards, and I really like them on that bike. They feel stronger to me than a lot of other handguards, just because the bar is really thick, really strong. The bolts work good. It's got these little replaceable sliders, bumpers, guards over even the metal, so you don't really have to replace the metal if you just drop it and scratch this up and make it real ugly or break it for some reason. Good luck breaking it, but if you do, there's replacements for there. All different colors for all different bikes. You can go with plain Jane black, you can go red like I did on my CRF, and it'll match it perfectly. I like this gray. Doesn't match this, so I'll see maybe if they have replaceable ones that are closer to this weird gray that the KLX is. But overall, I think they look good. These stickers come off if you're a stiffler about stickers, but I like them. And I like them a lot on my CRF, so we'll see how they hold up on this bike. I drop this bike a lot more because I off-road more on this bike, but so far they held up on my Honda pretty well. And I see them being my favorite handguards. The little D-Flex, the Tusk D-Sport D-Flex, Tusk D-Flex Pro. These stickers are all removable. They have their labeling right there, and this is from Rocky Mountain ADV. And I really like them, guys. So thank you for watching. If you've watched all this way, I really appreciate it. I'm a new YouTuber just trying to get out there, enjoy my hobby, and film it. So if you're still here, please subscribe, and hopefully I'll improve with my content. Thank you, guys. All right, bye.